This call is now being recorded.
Okay, guys. We'll start with the integration testing concept. As in the last class, we have gone through the what is the unit testing, module testing, and even in the integration types also we have gone through. What are the types of integration testing? Okay, so integration testing that comes after the unit testing. Once we complete the modules, once we complete the module, okay, we'll integrate the modules, and next we perform the integration testing. So it is very important integration testing, as even though the modules are working with defect free, even though the modules are working defect free or any error, okay, without error if they are working, but after the integration of the various modules, some defects are arises. So that's why integration testing is very important. So as we discussed the types of integration, like the Big Bang testing, where we are like uh, testing entire module, okay, all the complete modules of the particular project. Big Bang, all or nothing, Big Bang approach, Big Bang integration testing, where complete that particular complete project we are testing, okay. Then incremental testing means where we are testing the modules one by one, incremental order. After completing the one module, we go for the second module, third module, like. Then top-down integration testing, okay, bottom to up integration testing, and this hybrid or sandwich testing. It is a combination of both the top-down and bottom-up integration technique. So these are all we discussed in the last class. Okay, Big Bang approach, incremental approach. It is divided into these two types: incremental approach, top-down or bottom. We cover the modules, and by combining those, that is a sandwich testing. And this Big Bang testing method, that is convenient for the small system, small projects, okay, or college projects. The college, the students project, whatever they do, okay, that is Big Bang testing. It is suitable for the small system, and incremental testing, that is bottom up and top down testing. Okay, so here you can see the diagram where bottom up testing. So we perform the testing of these modules from the bottom, okay, like 4 5 in this particular example. We first individually we test 4 5 and 6, then we integrate 4 and 5, okay. Then we go for the next modules, module 2 and module 3. Then we go for the module 1. Means the approach is from bottom to up. The approach, the test approach is from bottom to up. So here the main thing advantage is fault localization is easier. We can easily find out the faults or any defects in the module, okay. Then no time is wasted, no time is wasted waiting for all the modules to be developed, unlike the Big Bang approach. In Big Bang approach, the main thing is we need to wait till the completion of all modules. But here, no time is wasted, as if the modules are ready, then we integrate, and we go on incremental order. Bottom up approach and top down approach, both are the incremental type of testing. So here, the critical modules at the top level of the software architecture, which control the flow of application, are tested last, and it may prone to defects. Okay, like some of the modules that the important modules that we test at the last, because we are approaching here the bottom up approach. Okay, so that may create any defects. An early prototype is not possible. That complete early prototype, the model is not possible. In top-down integration, the method in which integration testing takes place from the top to bottom, following the control flow of the software system. It is from the top to bottom. The higher level modules are tested first and then the lower level modules. So here in bottom up, the lower level modules are tested first. Okay, so these are the lower level modules. Lower level modules are tested first and then here it is higher level modules. Okay. So but in a top down approach, in top down integration testing, first we go for the higher level modules, then we go for the, it is depend upon the project, it is depend upon the team that they decide. Okay, so here stubs are used for the testing in some of the modules are not ready. Okay, in top down approach, stub means I already told it is a dummy module, and when we use this stub, if any of the module is not ready, if any of the module is not ready and we are testing the functionality of the software, okay, so for testing some of the modules are not ready, then we use the dummy module. Okay, so in your MCQ you may get a question for top down approach, which concept is used? Stub. Okay, stubs are used, and drivers in the bottom up approach. Okay, here in this case now, if any of the modules are not ready, then that is called as drivers. In MCQ, definitely you will get a question, and also it is an interview question also. What is stub and driver? Okay. So what is stub? Stub is a module where suppose if any of the module is incomplete, okay, incomplete, then that time we use a dummy module that is called as stub. So here the top-down approach fault localization is easier. You can easily track the error, possibility to obtain an early prototype. Critical modules are tested on priority. So what are the stubs and drivers here? So these are the dummy programs or dummy modules. You can say dummy programs or dummy modules. Like you can we can say your DRC test. In TCS, you people are gone through the DRC test. So that DRC test is there, no, that is a dummy. That is not your final recruitment test. Okay, it is a dummy module that we are doing some testing whether the candidate, whether he face any technical problem or any question display, any problem at the client side. Okay, so that's why they mentioned like candidates should go through, because it is as they are giving the test from the home. Okay, I think yesterday, I think one of your friend Selena, I think Selena Kota, she asked me as she was having one query. Oh, so while appearing for the test, she got some error. That is a blank screen. I think is she there in the session? Selena Kota, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So can you tell me what type of that error was there? Blank screen, no?
Blank screens.
So blank screen, that error, it comes mainly because of the low internet connectivity. Okay, because as per the recommendation from the TCS, the 5 Mbps is required, and even the 2 Mbps is also it works, but minimum 2 Mbps recommended is 5 Mbps, and that blank screen that comes because of the low internet connectivity, because you can just go through the document. I think the TCS has sent a document to check the if you get this particular type of error, then why, like the solution they are mentioned. Okay, so you need to clear the history, the browser history, and okay, there are some requirements they are given, or maybe it is because of the internet connectivity problem. Maximum it is a main is internet problem. Due to the slow internet connectivity, you get that problem. Okay, so sometimes no, if you get such type of any problem like defects, So it is your problem. It is a student problem, not the company problem, because companies, they are already mentioned like these are the requirements. That's why they are provided option like in center and remote mode. If you are selected remote mode means you have all the facilities. Okay. Suppose if you are selected that in center mode, then you will get a hall ticket. The hall ticket will generate, and you can directly visit to the ion center, and you can appear for the test. Okay. So it depends. I think is there Ruchika in the class? Anyone know Ruchika? I think maybe she attended from the in center. Is there Ruchika? Okay. So so that DRC means we can say it is a dummy test. Okay. So similar to in software testing, it is called as stubs. Okay. These are all dummy modules like we use for the testing. So stubs and drivers are the dummy programs in the integration testing used to facilitate the software testing activity. So these programs act as a substitute for the missing modules in the testing. Okay, substitute for the missing module means if particular module, if A is ready and B is missing. B is missing means it is in process. The team is working. Suppose A module the owner is me, and B module the owner is Vishwanath. Okay, so here the A module is ready, and Vishwanath is still working on the particular module B. Okay, and now the next is they have to integrate, but this is in process. B is in process. So in that case, what they do now, he has to test. The meat has to test whether the functionality, whether it is working properly or not, or is there any defect. So meat, what he does, he uses one dummy module or prototype. Okay, okay, or the Vishwanath, he will prepare a prototype just to test. Okay, so if it is working properly, A and this particular stub module. Okay, it is just a prototype. They won't spend more time on the dummy program. It is just to check that whether it is working any means. For example, as I think I already given the example for this. Okay, suppose here it is a payment transfer module. It is a payment transfer module, and so here it is a account balance module. Here it is a account balance. Okay, I already given many times this one example. This is A module. Okay, this is balance is B. Suppose we consider B module. Now this is not ready. Okay, so payment transfer module. So payment transfer, he transfer some amount. For example, like 1,000 he transfers. The account balance it is having the current balance in 10,000 rupees. Okay, now he want to test, like the meet has to test that whether this particular module is working properly or not. So how he test? He will create one dummy module, that is a stub. Okay. Now for this module, this payment transfer, just you want to check whether after transferring the 1,000 rupees, after transferring the 1,000 rupees to the third party, okay, after transferring the 1,000 rupees to the third party, now here the balance should update. So what is the balance now? For 10,000 minus 1,000. So the remaining is 9,000, it should update. That's all. Okay. 9,000, if it is updating, then we can say that, okay, this particular functionality is whatever the designed by the me, this payment transfer module, it is working. Okay. So in this way, okay, you need to understand what is the stub and drivers. Stub that mainly used for top-down approach. Drivers are used for the bottom-up approach. So they do not implement the entire programming logic of the software module, but they simulate the data communication with the calling module while testing. Okay, just remember, stub means top to bottom, driver means bottom to up. The difference between the stubs and driver. So there are many primary elements that are required to make the product testing hassle free. So every element has its own specific utility that helps a lot while software testing and delivering the expected functionality as per the SRS requirements. So stubs and drivers are the two such elements that play a very crucial role while testing. Okay, they replace the modules that have not been developed yet. Means they replace a module that have been not developed. Means that still they are working. The team is working on those modules. Okay. Instead of those modules, here these are the dummy modules. Okay, dummy modules that we use mainly for the testing purpose. Okay, these are the developed by the software developers to use them in place of the modules. Okay, you can just go through in detail about what is these stuffs, drivers, and all. Here they are given one. Suppose that you are told to test a website whose corresponding primary modules are where each of them is interdependent on each other, like login module, login page of the website, home page of the website, profile setting, and sign out page. So these four modules are dependent. It's always considered a good practice to begin the development of all modules parallelly. Okay, means the developing all these modules, four modules parallelly. So as soon as each gets developed, they can be integrated and that could be tested further as per their corresponding interdependency. Okay, so we need to work on these four modules. We need to work on these four modules to test. Parallelly, we need to start the work. Parallelly, you need to work on the modules. Assume that module A is developed. What is the module A? Login page of the website. Module A is developed. As soon as it is developed, it undergoes a testing, but it requires the module B because it is a integration testing. Okay. So here module A is ready. Module A is ready, and module B is also it requires for the testing, but which is not developed yet. So in this case, we can use the stubs and drivers that simulates all the features and functionality that might be shown by the actual module. Okay, so we use the dummy because still they are working. Module B, they are working. So we can conclude that stubs and drivers are used to fulfill the necessity of the unavailable modules. Do both do both drivers and stubs they serve the same functionality? Yes, they serve the same functionality, drivers and stubs. You can say both serve the same features and are used in the absence of the module. Okay, in the interdependency. So these are some differences. You can go through the difference. Stubs usually in top down. This you may get in MCQ. Stubs in the top down, drivers in the bottom up approach. Stubs basically known as called programs. Okay, called stubs because here this is the module 1. Okay, and this is module 2. Okay, here this is called. Stubs are called program and drivers are calling programs. Stubs are similar to the modules of software that are under the development process. Drivers are used for invoke the component that needs to be tested. There are some differences are there. This is sufficient as it is required to know what is the stub and what is the driver. The next is sandwich testing. Okay. or we can call it as also hybrid integration testing. We call it as hybrid integration testing. Hybrid integration testing. Okay, hybrid integration testing. So sandwich testing is a strategy in which top level modules are tested with the lower level modules at the same time. Lower level modules are integrated with the top modules. So here you can see we are using both top down and bottom up approach. Okay, we are using both top down and bottom up approach. So that's why it is called a sandwich testing or hybrid. It is a combination of both. So that's why it is called as hybrid integration testing. So it depends upon the project. Okay, it depends upon the project how they proceed. The team, testing team, they will decide. Okay, testing team, they will decide which one to go. Means either top down approach or the bottom up approach, and sandwich testing means it is both top to bottom and bottom to up, combination of both, combination of both. And it depends upon the project also. So here how to do the integration testing: prepare the integration test plan, design the test scenario, test cases, test script, execute the test cases followed by the reporting the defects, track and retesting the defects, and these steps are followed, this repeated until the completion of all the integration is successful. Okay, so as you already, I think we discussed about what is the test scenario, what is the test case, what is test script, so that you have to do the your uh, tutorial assignments. Okay, so they design the test cases, test scenarios, test script, and this is very important. When to start entry and exit criteria, when to start the integration testing, and when to stop. That is entry exit criteria of integration testing. Okay, so when to start the unit tested components or modules. Okay, it is very important when you need to go for the integration testing and when you need to stop, because in integration testing there are various levels are there. Okay, big bang approach testing, top down incremental testing. Incremental testing, again there is a top down, bottom up, sandwich testing. These are very few testing methods. So which one to choose? Which one to choose? Whether uh, it depend upon the project. So unit tested components and all high prioritized bugs fixed. All the modules to. It is very important when you mainly focus on the high prioritized bugs. There are like some bugs like security related defects, user interface related. That is a very high priority. Okay. Then based upon that, you need to write the your integration test plan, test case scenario. Then the exit criteria when you need to stop the integration testing. So successful testing of integrated applications. Executed test cases are documented. All high priority bugs are fixed and closed. That tracking of all the bugs and technical documents to be submitted followed by the release note. Here, as already in the we discussed, these test case plan document, test scenario document, okay, test scenario document, test play cases uh, document, test script document, test vision, okay. test policy document. There are various documents are there, and traceability matrix, bug traceability matrix report, okay, to track the bugs, the status of the each defects that arises. So that is also very important. So based upon that, you need to decide. These are exit criteria when you are stopping the test, testing. So the best practices and guidelines for the integration. So first you determine the strategy, integration test strategy that could be adopted, and later prepare the test cases and test data accordingly, and study the architecture design of the application and identify some critical modules, okay, so that they need to be tested on the priority. Okay, so this is very important, the integration testing part, okay, because once the unit testing is completed, next we go for this integration testing, integrating the all modules. Okay. Once after completing the module testing, we go for the integration testing. Once this integration is completed, we go for the system testing. Okay. Complete testing of the complete your project. That is a system testing. And also, I'm taking a tutorial after the at 12 p.m. 12 p.m. I'm taking the tutorial also. Okay. So as you know, system testing, it is a level of testing that validates the complete and fully integrated software product. Okay, it tests the final complete integrated software product, and the purpose of the system test is to evaluate end to end system specification. Okay, it evaluates the end to end system specification. Usually the software is one element of the large computer based system, and ultimately the software is interfaced with the other, like any software or hardware system. Okay, so software testing is actually a series of different tests whose sole purpose is to exercise the full computer based test. So here we'll go with uh, both black box and white box testing. Okay, complete complete your system testing. Okay, complete the means complete means final project. Okay, so it involves the software code to be tested. Okay. So we'll discuss in the next class about this system testing in detail. Okay, so let me know any doubts regarding this. And 12 p.m. again, I'm taking the tutorial. Okay, tutorial part. Okay, so any query, any doubts? Okay, so you can leave, and you can join at 12 p.m.